I feel like the rudest thing you can do at a senior center or a senior living center is rush the seniors to eat their food. It makes them feel like you don't want them there, or it makes them feel like you just want to get your job done and you're rushing them to eat their food. And it's like the worst thing ever. I made that mistake, so here are my stories. Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. If you didn't already, I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes. And today in this video, I'm going to do a 2-in-1 story time about the time I made the mistake of rushing seniors to eat their food. And I felt really bad after I realized what I was doing, because these are mistakes that you should definitely avoid when you're working in a restaurant or volunteering at a place where you're serving food, because it's just really rude and some people just feel uncomfortable when you do these things. And these are my 2 stories. And this is a story just to teach you guys to be always mindful when you're working in the food industry, or if you're volunteering at a place where you're serving food to people. You just need to be careful not to make these mistakes. And I'm going to get into what these mistakes were in the story, and I'm gonna get started, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Story number 1, let's begin. So this all started, I think this one might have started about 10 years ago. I was about 22 years old. I was at a local senior center with my day program, and I was volunteering there. And it was a Thursday that day, and the local senior center that I serve at doesn't have a lot of people in there for lunches. And so I was working in the senior center one day, and we had just finished serving everybody their food. And once they were done, we decided to sit down for probably like 5 or 10 minutes. And then when our 5 or 10 minutes were up, I go around and start collecting plates. So I walk up to people and I ask, "Are you done yet?" I don't know why I did that. It was just the rudest. I felt like it was super rude. You never ask people if they're done yet when you're working in the food industry. You ask if you'd like them to take your plate. And the senior was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." So I ran to another table and I asked, "Are you done yet?" And the senior was like, "No." And they were kind of like getting angry at me. And at that time I wasn't sure why. And I was not realizing this, but I was rushing them to finish their food, asking them if they were done yet. And I didn't realize how rude I was being. And then, so I did that almost the entire time. So after we were done, a supervisor talks to me. I forgot to mention I was with the local program when I volunteer when I was doing this. So the supervisor talks to me and tells me, "Mena, you shouldn't be asking people if they're done yet because they feel like you're rushing them to finish their food. It's just really rude and disrespectful." And I felt really bad, but she was being really nice about it. So the next time I did serve lunch at the senior center, I politely asked them, "Would you like me to take your plate?" And they were all very nice about it. So, and I felt like that was much nicer than asking people if they were done. Story number 2, moving on. So this one started, I think, a couple months after the first one. I was volunteering at the same senior center that I volunteered in the last story. And so I was serving food at the senior center, and everything goes pretty smoothly. I think it was a Wednesday that day, so they had like their bingo and stuff. So they were just pretty busy eating their food. So after a while, it's time for us to collect plates, because we had just finished serving the food. We wait probably like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we go back into the cafeteria and start trying to collect the plates. I literally look over people's shoulder to see if they're still eating their food. I don't know why I did that. Again, I mean, I just wasn't thinking, And I usually don't like when people look over my shoulder because it makes me uncomfortable, but I felt bad that I did this to these people. So I looked over almost every person's shoulder, not thinking or bothering to ask them if they were done yet, because I couldn't tell if they were still eating or if they were just leaving their food and stuff. And then I kept like standing over them, each person, just waiting for them to finish their food. I don't know what I was thinking. So after we had finished cleaning up, the supervisor has a chat with me and tells me that it wasn't okay for me to be standing over people or watching or standing over people to see if they're still eating their food, because it makes them feel like they're being rushed. And I felt really bad, but luckily the supervisor was nice about it, and she knew that I didn't know or didn't mean to do it. So I definitely learned a lesson not to do that. So the next time, couple times I worked at the senior center, I didn't ask people if they were done yet. I would just say, would you like me to take their plate? And then I definitely learned, if the person is still eating, don't stand over and watch them. So I did my best. Like anytime a person was still eating their food, said they're still working on their food, I would just walk away and stuff. And then I kept going, would you like me to take your and I would go, would you like me to take your plate? And then I did so much better. And the seniors were very nice to me when I realized that the way I was saying it before was really rude. So I definitely learned a politer way to say it. So the moral of the story is, when you're volunteering somewhere or working in a restaurant, you don't want to ask people if they're done yet, because it feels like you're rushing them. And you don't want to really stand over people either, because it's just really rude, and some people aren't comfortable being watched while they're still eating their food. So please keep that in mind, that when you're volunteering in a place you're serving food or you're working in a restaurant, don't stand over people or ask them if they're done yet. Just ask if you would like them to take your plate, because that's much more polite. So that was the 2-in-1 story about how the time I accidentally rushed seniors to eat their food. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this taught you how to be polite when you're serving food or taking people's plates away when you're working in a restaurant or volunteering at a place you're serving food. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it.